I want to thank Mr. Walz for his continued effort to make sure that our veterans are taken care of in this great nation of ours. Mr. Walz.
The gentleman from Minnesota is recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to extend my thanks to Chairman Miller and Ranking Member Michaud. I think an American public who many times thinks all politics is bickering and fighting and pettiness needs to see the two examples that these leaders show, consistently putting the needs of our veterans first and foremost, finding areas to improve and holding people accountable. But I would argue that this piece of legislation most importantly, finding solutions to make life better for our veterans. And for that, I am forever grateful to them for the work and for the staff that worked on this. Mitch Duckworth is not able to be with us today. There's someone, I said a lot of times people talk about patriotism and service and heroics. In Tammy Duckworth's case, you just state her name, and her life is a living testament to that, and she works every day, and we're just happy she's with her little one now, but had a big part in this. There's very few things that unite this country as the security of our nation and then the care of our warriors. And I think many of us know, as the millions who have fought the conflicts, fought extremism across the globe, people like Clay Hunt, a young Marine, went and did his duty, wounded in Iraq. That wasn't enough for Clay, so he went to Afghanistan, where he experienced some of the most horrific conditions you could imagine. That wasn't enough for Clay. He came home after he did his service in the Marine Corps and continued to serve. He went to Haiti and helped took his skills that he had learned in the military, took his skills to help after the hurricane, and then came and sat in many of our offices and many conversations of working everything from the GI Bill to the transitioning back of our warriors dealing with PTSD and making sure that we address their mental health issues. And I know for many of us, Clay was the epitome of American patriotism, of strength, of everything that's right. And it comes as such a shock. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but how could someone so strong who'd done so much be dealing with these demons? We know he was, and we know this nation didn't do enough, and we know he didn't receive the adequate care that he deserved, he had earned, and to be quite honest with you, that it's in our nation's best interest, both morally and security-wise and everything else, to get them that. So again, he didn't stop there, and his parents didn't stop there. His parents, his mother and father, are here in this chamber, as are his friends, to make sure this never happens to another family. And our friends at the veteran service organizations like IAVA, Paul Rykoff and his folks, and VFW, has asked us to do better. And the result of this piece of legislation is folks like Chairman Miller, Ranking Member Michaud, Tammy Duckworth, Mr. Benishek, others who are coming down here to speak about our differences are small compared to our commonalities, and our care for our warriors has to be there. You heard the specifics of this bill, some of the things it'll do. There's not one of us is kidding ourselves that this is going to be the silver bullet, but it puts it on the forefront. It brings some solutions that came from our warriors, came from best practices, came from both sides of the aisle, and brought it forward to find real solutions. And the thing that most encourages me about this is it's asking us, if things are not working, evaluate them and get rid of them. And bring the things forward that are going to work. And don't get buried in studies for 10 years. We don't have 10 years. We don't have 10 days for people. It's now. And that's I think, the beauty of this piece of legislation. It starts to move those things forward. It starts to bring the communities back into this. It starts to understand a holistic approach to dealing with the issues of veteran suicides, because this nation cannot allow this to happen. We morally cannot. It attacks our soul when we do this. And to be very honest, we can't afford to lose people like Clay Hunt. Clay Hunt is our leaders. He's our future leaders. He's our business leaders. He would at some point have been in this chamber or wherever he chose to go. That was his destiny, and this is happening over 22 times every day. So I encourage my colleagues, support this piece of legislation, but more importantly, support the spirit that's behind it, bringing us together to get it right, to care for our warriors with the best possible use of our resources and an accountability to those resources to make sure that the outcome is most important. And that outcome is honoring our commitment to the reintegration of these warriors once they've done their service to this country, bring them home, make them whole, make sure that they're able to continue to serve this nation as they wish. And so for that, I'm grateful. I am especially grateful for the leadership of Clay's family and his mother, Susan, who absolutely said, this can be done, this must be done, and it will be done. And thanks to these two gentlemen's leadership, it will. With that, I reserve the balance of my time, Mr.